Okay, so we're going to have a quiz this week on, it's not really the summer assignment. You didn't really have a summer assignment, so you can disregard that, but just our algebra review. We're going to have a quiz on the 3 days of algebra review that we've been working on. So I know we did not have a summer assignment. So one of the first things we want to be able to do is to simplify these fractions. So I want to find a number that divides, the biggest number possible, that divides evenly into 40 and 60. So 40 doesn't divide into 60, but I know that 20 divides into 40, and 20 also divides into 60. So if I were to divide both of those by 20, I would have 2, right? 40 divided by 2 is 20, and 60 divided by, 40 divided by 20 is 2, and 60 divided by 20 is 3. So that would simplify in simplest terms to 2/3. In the next one, I have 20 over 35. Now 20 is an even number, but 35 is not. It's an odd number. So I know I can't use 2. But when I think about a number that ends in 0 and a number that ends in 5, I think that 5 ought to divide evenly into both of those. Okay? So I'm going to take 20 and divide by 5, and that would give me 4. And now I'm going to take 35 and divide by 5, and that gives me 7. So in simplest terms, that one would be 4/7. Right? Now I want you to try number 3 and number 4 on your own, and you'll put your answers in the next two Edpuzzle questions. Okay, so let's see how we did here. We had 3 actually divides into 24, so I can divide 3 by 3 and get 1. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So that should have been 1/8 if you did that correctly. And now for 6 does not divide into 27. If you try to do that, you find it won't work. But 3 goes into 6, right? 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 27 divided by 3 is 9, and then there's no more common factors there for me to reduce that to. Okay, so now I want to simplify some expressions. I have negative, remember what we want to do here is combine like terms. So here are my like terms, negative 3x and 8x. If I combine those two, that would be 5x. Okay, so I've combined those like terms. I don't have to look at them anymore. And then I still have the plus 15 living there, and that's going to be in simplest form. Okay, so let's try the next one. I want to take 2 times x plus 5. So we have to use that distributive property first. So this is going to be 2x plus 10. And now I have 3 times 6, which is 18, and also 3 times 2x, which is 6x. So I have 6x and 2x, that's 8x. Combine those like terms here and here. And then I have 10 plus 18, that's 28. Okay? Try the next one, number 7, on your own, and put your answer in the Edpuzzle question that I will post here. Okay, so again, hopefully we started with the distributive property, and watch the minus sign there. That should be negative 10n. And then times 4 would be plus 20. And now I have to, 2 times n is plus 2n. And also 2 times 3 would be plus 6. So now we're ready to combine like terms. I have negative 10n plus 2n. Adding those integers, I would have negative 8n's. And now I have plus 20 plus 6. That's plus 26. So hopefully for this one you came up with negative 8n plus 26. Now we're doing something a little bit different. Right, what are we doing now? Now I have an actual value for x. I know that it's 3. So if you want to simplify first, we can do that. So we could multiply through here like we did in the previous example, and we'd have 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times x is plus 2x. Now we distribute the 3 times 7 is plus 21x. And then 3 times negative 7 is minus 21. If I combine my like terms, I have 2x and 21x. That's 23x. 16, that's a positive 16, minus 21 would be minus 5. Now I want to evaluate this when x is 3. So what happens here is we have 23 times 3 minus 5. So now we will follow our order of operations. So this is going to be 23 times 3, which is 69. Minus 5 would give us 64. Okay. Next, we have 5 times 3x, that's 15x. 5 times 3 is just 15. And then we also have plus x tagged onto the end of that. So let's combine like terms. 15x and x is 16x plus 15. And we want x to be equal to 2. So we're going to take 16 times 2 plus 15. Right? I substitute that 2 for x. And when it's living right next to it like that, it means to multiply. So this would be 32. 16 times 2 is 32. Plus 15. That is 47. Okay. Let me work through this one, and I'll have you do number 10. You can try number 10 on your own. This one I feel like is a little bit trickier. I want to be careful with this. I'm going to go ahead and substitute the 3 and the 10 in right away. So I have 15. Remember, we have to follow order of operations. We have to deal with this parentheses first. So I have 15 minus 13. Do that first, and this should simplify to just 2. Okay? So try number 10 now on your own and put your answer in the Edpuzzle. So we want to be a little careful here. Watch, we have 3. So plug in the 3 first. That's what y is, not 1. So I have 3 plus 10, and then x is 1 here, so minus 1. So 13 minus 1, you should have came up with 12 for that one. Okay, and the last part here for our equation solve, our last part in this Edpuzzle, I'm going to try a few harder ones first, and I'll leave you number 12 and number 13 on your own. But let me tackle some of the more difficult ones, or at least that I think will give you more problems here. You can collect your x variable on either side. I'm going to choose to collect them on the side where the x will be positive. I feel like it makes less work for me. So I want this negative 7x to go away on this side. So the way I do that is I add 7x to both sides. Okay? So now I have no more x's on this side, but what I have over here is 5x plus 4 equals negative 6. So now I don't want this 4 to be here. I want just x's living on the left-hand side. So we have to subtract 4 from both sides. Be careful with your rules for adding and subtracting integers. Now you're going to have 5x equals negative 6 minus 4 would be negative 10. And you're going to divide a negative number by a positive number, so your result will be negative. Okay? So I thought that one's a little tricky because you have x's on both sides. Now here we have to simplify first, and then we'll go ahead and attempt to solve. So this would give me 3x when I multiply through by that 3. Plus 3. All right, multiply everything by 3. Then I have plus 6x minus 2. And finally equals 28. I'll deal with that in a moment. Let's simplify the left-hand side first. 3x plus 6x is 9x. And then I have plus 3 minus 2, so that's just plus 1, equal to 28. Now we can do a two-step solve. Subtract 1 from both sides. So we have 9x equals 27. And 27 divides nice and evenly by 9. So we get a nice clean answer, x equals 3. Okay, and a lot of negatives happening here, so I wanted to work through this one with you. Negative 8 times negative x, 8x, that's 64x, and it's positive. I have a negative times a negative, so it's positive. Another negative times a negative, that's positive 48. Negative times a negative is a positive. Equals negative 6x minus 22. Let's collect the x's over here since there's more of them. They'll keep them positive. And I get a big number there. 70x plus 48 equals negative 22. So I'm going to subtract 48. I need that to go away. I don't want it on the same side with the x's. All I want on the left side are x's. So 70x is fine to live over here. We got rid of the 48. Negative 22 minus 48 is negative 70. So this divides nice and evenly. Divide both sides by 70. So x equals negative 1. All right. Try these two on your own and let's see how we do. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides here. There's no other x's to be found in this equation. So negative 4x can live over there by itself. So I get negative 4x equals 20. Right? These two are gone. 18 plus 2 is 20. Now I would divide by negative 4 on both sides. So hopefully you got x equals negative 5 as your answer here. Okay? And now I'll have two steps. I know in the last couple I've kept the x's on the left side, but this time I'm going to collect them to the right side because that way they'll have a positive sign in front of them. So now 9 is going to live here by himself. 3x minus x is 2x. And now I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So 12 equals 2x. And I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Okay, so hopefully you got x equals negative 5, x equals 6 for those.